Howdy, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. How's it going, eh? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one, another live one. As a matter of fact, that's right. New West Reset Live, episode 138 here today on this Sunday, September 28th, 2025. A wee bit past 5 p.m. local time, mountain time. As always, we're coming at you live from Purdy, Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, Canada land. Up here in the north, she's getting chilly. It was a lovely fall day today, but chilly-ish because of the wind. 16 degrees Celsius. It's like 65-ish Fahrenheit. Yeah, but it was sunny, so that's supposed to warm up. Just the wind was coming from the north, eh? Still a lovely, lovely day. Sun shining, blue skies. So, yeah, it won't be long before, shenanigans starts happening with Old Man Winter around here, believe it or not. It's, soon it'll be like this. So yeah, I can't wait for that kind of shenanigans. Woo! Anyway, thank you very much for joining me here. We're going to be looking at images of the frozen north. Yes, speaking of which, Arctic photos, 150-year-old set of photographs taken from gelatin silver prints. These are from a British Arctic expedition, 1875. The winter of 1875, 1876. And so, yeah, we're going to have a look at that. So how's everybody doing? I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Thanks for winding down your weekend here. Yours truly. I can't believe it's the end of September already. Wow. Canadian Thanksgiving's coming up. And then Halloween. And then, it's November. And that's a wrap on warm weather, at least around here. It is what it is. Thanks for joining me here. It's Sunday Fun Day, don't you know? Woo! Excuse me, got a bit of a frog in my throat. So how's everyone doing? Like I said, let's say howdy to everybody in the chat, in the box. How's everybody enjoying their autumn season? Or I guess if you're down under there, it's what, spring? It's coming into spring now? I don't know. Anyway, you tell me, we'll both know. Kathy Broughton is in the box from Kentucky. Good to see you, Kathy. How you doing? Cousin Vinny over here. Cousin Vinny, huh? Good to see you, Cousin Vinny.
So, Tommy, where have you been, huh? I've been watching New West Reset. Huh? Well, it's New West Reset. It's this thing on YouTube. He goes around, he does his boots on the ground thing. They'll tell you.
Realm Dweller over on Rumble. That's right, as always. Broadcasting simultaneously on the HooTubes and on the Bumble. That's right, the green fighting platform. Links below for how you can get a hold of a guy, including said Rumble, BitChute, a guy's email. I'm not on the MeWe anymore. I hate to break it to the 10 or 11 followers I had over. There was not much going on over on the MeWe. So the guy shut it down. So sorry. Sorry about that, eh? It is what it is. But anyway, links below for how you can get a hold of a fella. Speaking of Cousin Vinny, my location map. Click on that. It opens up the goggle machine there, and my icon appears, and you click on that, and gives you a rundown of some boots on the ground I've done with a link to the video. And also links for everything we're going to be looking at for this evening's shoe with the images and whatnot. They're from the Canadian Archives website, so it's all, and the copyright is expired, so the link below for that is very interesting. I had a little bit of a peekaboo, a preview of some of the photos, just to kind of see what was what, but there's 70 plus photographs. I think I looked at 10 or 12. So yeah, should be a good time. Should be a lot of fun, I think.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Channel 53 is here. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. How's it going? Babylon Fox in the box. How you doing, Stephanie? Howdy, howdy. Title's here. Hey, kid flying a kite in the wind. Yeah, Title's here. It's windy. Kids are flying kites. No, that'll never come back. When was the last time you saw a kid flying a kite? Baja in the box. Hello, hello. Modoc is here. How's she going there, bud? Martin over on the Rumble. How you doing? Good day, good day. Hello, hello. So yeah, there's Hippie Shake. Good to see you, Hippie. As always, 'tis a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you, as I'm dulling out the thank yous, is thank you to everybody for all of your support last Sunday for the live show, which wasn't really a New West Reset live episode. It was the live premiere of my documentary film Reset 1700. Gotten a lot of feedback. I really appreciate all of your support. Thank you very much. And congratulations once again to Zig and Zag, as well as to Matthew. That's Carmichael, as you know, friend of ours here on the channel, and Zig and Zag, new friend. They recipients. Why am I having trouble spitting that out? It's recipients of the New West Reset prize pack. 2 giveaways during the live premiere. Now, I've since taken down that live. Well, I've put it on private mode. Shh, don't tell anyone, eh? But I'm going to re-up the documentary film in its entirety in the next couple of weeks as a premiere, and we can watch it live and, you know, in the chat and goof around and have a good time in the box while watching it. So keep your peepers peeled for that there, eh, bud? Scott Pike is here. Good to see you, Scott. How's it going? All right, so thanks for being here. Really appreciate it, as always. If you haven't already, you know, help a fella out with all the, you know, one of these and all the things. Thank you. Thanks to everybody who's subscribed, shared. If you're watching this after the live, appreciate you. Thank you very much. I know these things can be about 2 hours, give or take, so it's a big chunk, so thanks a lot there, eh? That's right, I did. I did do that when we went to Drumheller on the road tour there for cousin Vinny and myself down there. Yeah. I can't remember the context though. Was I starting to film a video and it felt strange not yelling title? I don't know. I can't remember the context. It's going to happen. It's like a form of Tourette's for me now. It's strange. It's unusual. And if you're not expecting it, it'll startle someone. I don't know. Anyways, yes, congrats once again. Winners of the prize pack. That was kind of fun giving those away with the spin to win thing. The Wheel of Fortune or Misfortune, depending on how you look at it. Am I right? Anyway. Canada Post is on strike. Hey, isn't that convenient? So guy goes to the post office to, send off some parcels, right? And buppity boopity, it's closed. And they're with saying, go to the next closest one with the address. Okay. So you know what? I filmed it. It was so frustrating. I filmed it. So let me share that with you, and then we'll get the shenanigans on the road here. So I got to walk 12 blocks to the next nearest post office. This one's already 12 blocks away from me and is the closest. Freaking government workers, always pissing and moaning about shit all the time. But then when you got to mail something, oh, well, it sucks to be you, I guess. Sorry, I forgot to do the trigger warning for foul language. I let her rip a couple times there, so sorry about that there, eh? Anyway. Not to mention this freaking bullshit. It's this is progress. This is the world we live in, right? We're so advanced in our modern society. What a crock of shit. Yeah, so I got here, and this is what's posted at the second Canada Post. I wish they had posted this on the first one, so I wouldn't have walked all the way down here. So I guess I got to use UPS or FedEx or Purelator or, insert courier name here. I would argue, I work at a grocery store, all right, where we provide food to the public. I would argue my job is way more important than doing a half-assed job delivering junk mail. And this is, I think, the fourth time these pricks have been on strike in the last 5 years. Bunch of assholes. Well, that was fun. But at least I got one of the packages mailed off that's going to the U.S. Luckily, as it turns out, there's a UPS store only a couple of blocks from my place. I'm back in my neighborhood now anyway, so the UPS guy made it pretty smooth and simple. So I don't know how long Canada Post is going to be on strike for. They just say, indefinitely, kind of, whenever they decide to go back to work. So the remaining parcels that have got to go out will be sent via UPS. So with that said, I guess that's that. All right, cheers everyone. Rods in the box. Good to see you. Howdy. Just griping about Canada Post being on strike right when I had 3 parcels to send out in the mail. I have a small business account with Canada Post, so a guy gets a little bit of a deal. Of course, government still wets their beak and inflates the price, but it's fairly reliable, and it links up with the U.S. Postal Service and the British Post, whatever that's called, England Post, British Post. I don't know. Anyway. But when they go on strike, I get all my bills online anyway, so it's not the thing. It's just, what are you striking for, right? you pretty much don't do nothing unless somebody has a package to be delivered to Nana's place on the farm 2 provinces away. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's Christmas coming up. Whatever the case may be. Anyways, you want to send your Auntie Susan a Thanksgiving card? Yeah, have fun with that. Anyway, thanks for indulging my griping. Royal Mail. Ah, there it is. Royal Mail. Thank you. Probably, yeah, I probably should have known it's got to have royal in it. Right, hippie? Of course. But if you're going to mail something, you don't say that, though. You say you're going to post it, right? I'm going to the post. Anyway, moving on. Let it go, Frankie. Jeez, hold a grudge much? Anyway, packages will be forthcoming, just by a different route. Yeah, UPS instead of Canada Post. And they dumbasses. All right. So let's look into this here collection. Before we get into it, though, these are the Thomas Mitchell collection from, again, the Canadian Archives website, government website. So I just want to share quickly here before we get into the photographs themselves. The actual information, because it's interesting. Yeah, it's probably just as reliable, if not more so these days. It used to be back in the day, right? It was the other way around up until probably what, late 80s, early 90s, where the official postal service, Canada Post, US Postal Service, Royal Mail, whatever, right? Wherever you live, whatever it's called, was the cheapest and most reliable. And if you want to send something by courier, like specialty thing, oh, they would just rake you over the coals, bud. But now it's, you send stuff UPS now, it's probably going to get there faster, safer, and in some cases cheaper. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let me just share some of this info real quick before we get into the photographs. We're going to have a look at a few things here. Then we'll take a mid-show break, come back and examine the images themselves. Let's see here. Is this the one? Yeah, hopefully you can see that all right. So this is just the general information. So these photographs are taken by Thomas Mitchell and George White along the coasts of Greenland and Baffin Island during the G.S. Nares expedition to the Arctic, 1875 through 76. The ships were the Alert and the Discovery. That should be HMS Alert and HMS Discovery. Typo. Anyway, way to go, Government of Canada website. Fantastic. Anyhow, move along here. A second collection of photographs, volume 2, 1936. There's also a collection of 22 watercolors, yada, yada, yada. All right. And again, the copyright is expired, so we could just share that, no problem there, bud. No problemo. But I kind of want to get into this real quick here, the actual expedition itself, and see what are they going up there just to, 1870s? They're just going to go up to the Arctic and just look around and take pictures? The heck for, Cherry Ives in the box. Hello. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. Yeah, I would say they have good tracking. Well, they found Tom Hanks on that island there, so, it's not bad. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, see what the Wikipedia says here. Why Wikipedia? It's what most people, at least until the AI, now you just go into the goggle machine and just type it in the search engine window right there on the goggle, and the AI thing will say, yeah, this is it. But generally speaking, you get the official narrative on the Wikipedia. So let's see here. British Arctic Expedition, 1875-76, yep, led by Sir George Nares. We'll have a look at this fellow as well. Sent by the British Admiralty to attempt to reach the North Pole via Smith Sound on the west coast of Greenland. Why are they always trying to... Doesn't say he was trying to find passage over or around or through the North Pole. No, he was trying to reach the North Pole. Which North Pole? We know they tell us there's like 3. Was it last count? 3, 4 North Poles? It's these wandering North Poles. You know how it is. There's the polar pole, there's the Polaris, and then there's the magnetic pole, and then there's the wandering magnetic, geomagnetic pole, and the yeah, whatever. Anyways, 2 ships, HMS Alert and Discovery, captained by this fella here. Salty looking fella. From Portsmouth, May 75. Ah, okay, so in the spring. Became the first explorer to take his ships all the way north through the channel between Greenland and Ellesmere Island, now named Nares Strait in his honor. Of course it is. To the Lincoln Sea. Where the hell is the Lincoln Sea? From Cape Columbia, Canada, to the West Cape, Morris Jesup, Greenland. Oh, okay, sure. All right. To this time, it had been popular theory that this route would lead to the supposed open polar sea. Okay. An ice-free region surrounding the pole, but Nares found only a wasteland of ice. Very interesting. Was he following some of those ancient tales that we've heard about, where you get to the true, polar north, or whatever you want to call it, the middle? Depending what perspective you're looking at it. That all of a sudden it becomes warm and there's this big magnetic rock or something. What is it, Mount Meru or something? Anyways, the farthest north, yada, yada, yada. So overall, the expedition was a near disaster. Oh, whew, they dodged one on that, I guess, there, eh? Men suffered badly from scurvy, scurvy, and were hampered by inappropriate clothing and equipment. But you knew you were going to try to find the North Pole. You knew it was going to take a while, and you knew it was going to be cold. And yet, ill-prepared. Realizing his men could not survive another winter in the ice, Nares hastily retreated southward with both his ships in the summer of 76. However, naval personnel and topographers, among them Thomas Mitchell, did succeed in documenting, by photograph, Inuit and the landscapes of what would become Canada's Northwest Territories and later Nunavut, which is a Canadian territory in the far northeast. Yeah, wouldn't we all love a photo of that? Geneviève. Bonsoir, Geneviève. Geneviève in the box, good to see you. Hello. So the expedition included future Admiral of the Fleet, William May. Well, I say, look at this jaunty fellow. Petty Officer Adam Isles, from both of the Isles, Ice Shelf, and Mount Isle. Yeah, okay. Okay, named after all these fellows. Okay. So it was a harrowing experience. It was, what do they call it, a near disaster? They get time to take a lot of pretty pictures, though. Funny how that works. Let's look into this George Nares fella real quick here. See what's going on with this guy. Again, the Wikipedia. And again, links below. George Nares. Vice Admiral, excuse me, Sir George Strong Nares. Sir George, if you please, good sir, 'tis Sir George. Yes, excuse me. April 1831 to January 1915. All right. Not a very old fella. Royal Navy officer and Arctic explorer. How does that get into a guy's head? I'm going to go up there ill-prepared and just poke around a bit. I'll make sure and bring a camera or two, I guess. He was highly thought of as a leader and scientific explorer. In later life, he worked for the Board of Trade as acting conservator of the River Mersey. Okay, sure. New Cross, South London. That's where he joined the Royal Navy School. 1845. HMS Canopus. All right, nice. First Arctic experience, here we go. While returning to England in Havana, 1851, Nares had met Commander George Henry Richards. Chop sideburns on that fella. A future hydrographer. Hydrographer? Oh, that's a cinch to say. Anyways, of the Navy, who it suggested he apply to Sir Edward Belcher, placed on a search for Sir John Franklin. So he was accepted as second mate on the Resolute, thus gained valuable early experience of Arctic during the 1852-1854 expedition. For a place in his search, so we had Sir Edward Belcher searching for Sir John Franklin. I guess one went missing and they searched, they sent the other guy to go looking for him. All right, sure. Gunnery specialist. So he received his promotion to lieutenant and was specialized as a gunnery officer. Joined the new battleship Conqueror in 1854. It's right in Canada land. We pronounce it lieutenant, like the Brits do. I know in the States it would be lieutenant. And yeah, you look at it phonetically, lieutenant. Why it's pronounced lieutenant, I don't know. That's the Brits. They invented the language. I have no idea. I speak Canadian, which is terrible. Okay, then he was an instructor, surveyor. Okay. British Arctic Expedition. There you go. Because of his previous experience in the Arctic, he was summoned for this assignment to take charge of another Arctic voyage in search of the North Pole. Discovery and Alert, 1875, British Arctic Expedition. On this expedition, Nares became the first explorer to take his ships all the way north through the channel between, yeah, okay, sure, got that before. Up to the time, it had been popular theories were related to supposed, yeah, got that. Ice, okay. A sledging party under Albert Hastings Markham set a new record farthest north, okay, but overall expedition was a near disaster. Scurvy and the whatnot, okay, yeah. So yeah, okay. What does this say now? First explorer, take his ships, yeah, okay. The same bloody thing. All right. So I'm telling us too much on that one. You know, the usual, right? When they're supposedly exploring the Arctic, they're always getting trapped in the ice And then another expedition has to go out and try to rescue the first expedition or the second, and whatever succession of rescue parties is in the chain leading up to the north with all these ships. And yet they keep going up there. Sometimes the thought crosses a guy's mind that it's not really like that. You don't get trapped in ice. I think it's to create a narrative, not to go poking around up in there, because look what'll happen. Channel 53 in the box says, I watched a thing on Shackleton the other day. Ah, yes. Speaking of trapped in the ice, right? Kathy Broughton in the boxes. I'll say it again. Y'all are crazy up there in Canada. Yeah. Yeah, loot. Oh, lieutenant. Ah, I see. Lieutenant. Indeed. Indeed. Anyways, I had one other thing here too, because I wanted to see what I'm not a fan of the AI. I think I've made myself very clear. The whole AI thing, but it bears repeating. I'm not a fan. I think the AI is, well, we all know this. It's only as smart as whoever's programmed it or the last update of whoever's programmed that update, which means it's pretty stupid. But this is kind of the other official thing about these Thomas Mitchell Arctic photos, because there was no wacky on this guy. And there was very little that I could find on this guy. Searching online, anyway. There are other photographers, interestingly enough, a little bit of a quinky dink there. I don't know. There are other photographers who are modern photographers named Thomas Mitchell, supposedly no relation. And some of them do Arctic photography, if you buy that. So in this case, I want to see what the AI would tell me. So I bookmarked this from a couple of days ago here. Historic Arctic photographs by Assistant Paymaster Thomas Mitchell are preserved in collections including albums owned by the naval officer Reginald Baldwin Fulford. Reginald Baldwin Fulford. My goodness, is there ever a more British naval officer sounding name? Excuse me, Royal British Naval Officer. And the Royal Collection Trust. These images were captured during the British Arctic Expedition, 75-70, commanded by Captain Sir George Nares. And then it gives you the rhetoric we have already covered. This was interesting, though. Notable images, Inuit portraits. The Royal Collection Trust holds an albumen print attributed to Mitchell that shows 6 crew members with 8 Inuit people in Greenland. Expedition scenes. The images include scenic views of the Arctic, such as one showing the ship Discovery from Mount Cartanel near Bellet Island. But I found this interesting. This guy who took the photos was an assistant paymaster. Apparently, there were 2 crew members on this expedition who were specially trained in photography, in the equipment and, just the technique itself, the discipline, if you will, the craft of photography, especially in this fledgling. It's still pretty fledgling, 1875. I got me a bunch of old cameras, but I ain't got anything from the 1870s. 1890s and onward, yes, up to the 1950s. But 1870s, yeah. So they trained a couple of crewmen. And one of them was the assistant paymaster. How are these guys getting paid when they're out at sea in the ice and whatnot? Is there another ship that's coming off and dropping off what? British Royal Pounds Sterling for the assistant paymaster to sign in so that the paymaster could distribute said pay to the Royal Seamen? Is that what's going on? I seems like a very unnecessary. He's not the quartermaster, he's the paymaster. Do they give them the money up front and then he's got to doll it out a bit at a time? And they've got it down in their some vault or safe in their cargo hold? What is this, freaking Pirates of the Caribbean around here? Pirates of the Arctic. Yar, shiver me timbers, literally. Yar. Anyway, not much on Thomas Mitchell, unless you're looking for the modern photographer. Confusing on purpose? I'm not saying that, but let's just say a fella's jaw would not hit the floor. Ken Dummy is here. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Really? Bought silverware for $1 each at the Goodwill store, stamped Rogers 1847. Huh. 150,000 pounds, hippie shake? Really? She says, I was just looking this Thomas Mitchell Arctic photos up. There's one going for 150,000 pounds. Wow. That's almost 300 Canadian doll hairs there, eh, buddy? Give or take. I don't know. 250 somewhere? I don't know. Anyway. They are terrific photographs. I will give them that. I will give the assistant quartermaster credit on that one. So I guess let's quit goofing around and see what we can see here, shall we? But first, what do you say we take a mid-show break? Give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage. If you're new to the channel, or as a reminder, every Wednesday, I upload a vintage footage video. Try to find some old video, film footage, what have you. Put it together with some music. I try to keep it Canadian content if I can. This one's actually from, speaking of the Canadian Archives, this is also from the Canadian Archives. That video goes up every Wednesday. Friday, you get boots on the ground. Sunday, back here for the live show. So on the Sunday, you get a little peekaboo of what's coming up Wednesday for the vintage footage. No exception. So rather than blathering on about it, this is Southeast Asia from 1919. Just shy, just a scotch, a smidgen, short of 4 minutes. Very, very interesting footage. Hope you enjoy it. Stick around. We'll see you back on the other side of 4 minutes. All right? Cheers, everyone. All right, and we are back. Welcome back. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. New West Reset Live, episode 138. Going to be looking at images of the frozen north, Arctic photos, 150-year-old photos, 1875 through 1876. Thomas Mitchell collection from a historical British Arctic expedition. So thank you very much for joining me here. Appreciate it as always. Thanks for winding down your weekend with yours truly. If you haven't already, please do all the things. Appreciate it. What'd you think of that footage? I think I know what you mean by fake. It's posed. It's like the guy with the camera or the director or whatever. Not director, because it is documentary film. Well, I guess there could still be there, but he has the people. Okay, like show us how you do this, and go over here and do this. So it's like posed photography, but in video form. Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're saying. Pasture of Castles. Howdy. Good to see you. Modoc says, I booked a ticket to the Philippines for November 17th. Then Vietnam. Wow. No itinerary. Scuba diving. Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, Baja saying looks kind of whack. Yeah, because it's them reenacting what they would normally do, but it is, you could see that they're looking at the camera, and then you could tell somebody's telling them, okay, don't look at the camera. It's pretty old footage though, 1919. Speaking of old, what do you say we sink our teeth into these photographs here? Huh? What do you think? Thanks for joining me. Sunday Fun Day Show. Ancient One is in the box. Hello. Thanks for shooting it. Appreciate you. All right, so let's have a looky-loo here at the Thomas Mitchell collection, Arctic photographs, British expedition 1875. Just get her all, whoop, hey, oh, sorry there, bud. Just get it all queued up here. It's like amateur hour around here. All right. was going to say, oh, this must be the one they were referring to in the Wikipedia article, but I don't think so, because that one said crew members and Inuit, but be that as it may, they don't look like they're having a good time, I'll tell you that. I've seen this before, but it would remind me of ancient Asia, ancient China, maybe. These are supposedly Inuit, what we would call Eskimo, right? Baffin Island, Greenland, northern Arctic Canada, Nunavut, what is now Nunavut, north of Labrador. Interesting. What does it say here? Group of natives at something Greenland. Okay. Disco Greenland. Oh, that's a terribly unfortunate name. Wow, those are some massive cliffs. These are some pretty impressive tall ships here. Remember, 1875. This is kind of interesting. Right here. Looks like some big blocks, but again, I'm just saying that's what it looks like. I don't know. Yeah, I would say so, Brian. Brian Metz in the box saying, much left to discover, I'd wager. Yeah, it's a beauty. I don't know. I kind of dig old ships like that. They look super complicated, and I could never be a sailor because I would probably get tangled up in this stuff and I would lose a leg, and then I'd just be a peg leg guy, which apparently is how that happens. I don't know. I don't mind fishing, but this is going a little much. But look at this up here. It's interesting. Very interesting. Where are we here? This is still Disco Greenland. Natives of Disco Greenland. You see, the hair is very extravagant. This guy's just chilling with a pipe, though. He can't be bothered. What's going on with these big rocks here? Are they living in this? It must be. Oh, yeah, they must be. There you go. All right. See? Igloos. Now. That's animal skins over something. It's really hard to tell. There's big giant boulders here too, though, so I don't know. Again, is that maybe that's the hat and not hair, but something funny going on here. Is it me, or do all of these people look different? And you know what I'm getting at. I'm just trying to tippy-toe around the Hootubes and all their shenanigans. But they're supposed to be of the same people, right? But you know what I'm getting at. These are isolated communities. Some would even say tribes, maybe a handful of people living in isolated areas. They're pretty much self-sufficient little hamlets of, maybe a couple dozen or more people. Got here an iceberg or something that's been scratched out of the photo. I don't know. Must be an iceberg because there's its reflection. Again, these are old, so there's going to be damage. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on with these things. Look at this. Giant boulders, man. I don't picture this. I don't picture this when I picture Greenland. I picture, oh, it's so cold. And what's that new stupid show supposed to be coming out? It's on some streaming platform. I don't know. I don't care. But it's supposedly the most dangerous expedition trip ever. And these super equipped outdoor expert dudes are making a trek across Greenland from the south to the north. People have only gone bilaterally across. No one's ever gone upsy downsy. You know what I mean? But taking the long way home, as Supertramp would say. Ice and snow and dangerous, and you freeze and whatnot. And there's, some Inuit and some fishing villages. And yeah, some parts of Greenland aren't totally covered in ice and snow all the time. Supposedly Vikings and whatnot were there too, settlements, but it's just not what I'm seeing in these photographs. I'm not seeing a super frozen wasteland. Hans Henry Eskimo, spelled M-A-U-X, like Esquire Mo, Eskimo. Dog driver with his son and daughter. Okay. The riggings and whatnot. Yeah, see, I would be lost. I would be the guy that would get trapped in the ice, supposedly. Sure, there's ice and whatnot. Again, it is spring, I guess, right? May, June-ish. At Kangatuk Island, north of Uppanikvik. Okay. Of course, all these names have probably changed half a dozen times since this photo was taken 150 years ago. Be that as it may. Some of these I'm just jumping through, or, I'm just seeing if anything kind of catches my eye. Gangatok Island. Yeah, okay. Same thing. At Cape York, group of Arctic Highlanders and seamen of the expedition. This guy's just got his hand on this dude's head. Like, there's a good lad. Stand still for the photograph, will you? There's a lad. This guy's not standing still. Keep your head straight, bud. Nope, doesn't give a rat's arse. Yeah, well, I don't know. Guy could beef up, I guess. You're not what I would say is fat at all, man. Come on. You're one of those taller, lankier fellas. You break. Brian Metz in the box says, bet you Greenland is teeming with ruins under that ice. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of glad this expedition is supposedly in the spring. Something funny about this photograph, though. I don't know if it's just the exposure, the reflections, because it is. I mean, this is obviously snow or ice here. Bloody well, right? Yeah, Supertramp, man. Yeah, I hear you. I'm Canadian, and I look at that and go, yeah, come on, man, that looks cold. Ugh. And it gets cold here too, minus 30, minus 35 Celsius. That's basically the same in Fahrenheit, minus 35 Fahrenheit or whatever. Yeah, I'm not a fan either, hippie. Not a fan. Yeah, it looks Halo-ish. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. What do we got here? HMS Discovery, fast to ice at Cape York. Native dogs and sledges in the foreground. I've never heard them referred to as sledges. It's just sleds. There's a sled and then there's a sleigh, and they are different to me. But look at this bad boy. Man, that is impressive. You got huskies or malamutes or whatever, and then these, yeah. That's an Arctic taxi cab up in Canada land, eh? What's going on? Quit playing now. Quit playing. Really, eh? All right. That's fine. It's fine. Let's try that again. Play around. Interwebs being all hanky or something. All right. Pull this back up for you. Sorry about that, eh? What do we have here? Hardow? I don't know what that even means or says. Looking to the southwest, photograph from the shore. On the right is a portion of the ice foot. Okay. See, when I did the little, as mentioned in the top half of the show, when I did the little preview of this collection, I looked at about 10 or 12 of these, and I'm seeing a lot of this. You see the snow and ice and whatever, and you think, yeah, sure, Greenland, whatever you say, Bob. But this, is that natural? I don't know. It looks like it's stacked in terraces or layers, maybe, potentially. Discovery in Bay or Harbor. Oh, it's Harbor. Excuse me. I'm just a barely literate Canadian, eh? Sorry. This is a bay or harbor as well. Yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of big boulders. I mean, you're bound to see big rocks and stuff along bodies of water, I reckon, but a lot of them look very rectangular or angular. That's why I'm using the term blocks, because they look blocky. If this is constantly freezing and thawing, freezing and thawing, freezing and thawing, as we're told, wouldn't that smooth these out because water expands as it freezes into ice? So this technically would rise up and potentially over millions and millions of years or whatever would smooth out all of these angles. I don't know. I'm not a geologist, eh? Just asking a few questions is really all that it is.
Let me ask you something. How come you asking so many jackassy questions?
No, it's playing with us again here, people. My apologies. Let's try to reload the dang thing and see what's what. Oh, it takes us back. Oh, good. All right. Thank you. I just find it interesting. They're lovely photos too. I mean, the composition and whatnot. You know, this is the assistant paymaster. Oh, she's getting pretty icy there, Bod. Might want to hightail it out of there, eh? The Albert in Hay Sound on the night of the 5th of August. It's in summertime. Sam Steele's going on back here. So the water and ice will erode the land, but it won't smooth out those blocky stones along the water's edge. Sure. Okay. Okay.
I don't believe you.
Screen. There we go. Sorry. Jeez, it took me long enough, eh? Thank you, Bond. James Bond. Sorry about that. Franklin Pierce Bay on the evening of August 8th, 1875. Okay. Okay, now this, sure, okay, Greenland. But I mean, these are mountains. So there's going to be snow. I mean, there's snow on some of the higher mountains here in the Canadian Rockies and Alberta, even at the height of summer. I mean, it does look cold, though. I ain't disputing that. Look at these fools. Let's go out on the ice and put a pole, eh? I'm not disputing the fact that it's cold. It does look cold. Cape Prescott. Get out of there. You're going to fall in there, bud. Then what? That'll be a near disaster. That's what. A near disaster. Some of these I'm just rolling through quick, fast, and in a hurry here. There's a lot of landscape portraits, which, yeah, they're lovely. I agree. They're beautiful. But I'm looking for... I'm interested in weird stuff now, you know? Still a great shot, though, of that ship. Not seeing a lot of sea life, though. I haven't seen a polar bear. I haven't seen a walrus, a whale, a sea lion, or whatever, seal. A puffin, for crying out loud. Nothing. You know, there's polar bears up here. Still in Cape Prescott. Okay. I'm sorry about this. My apologies. You know, you spring for the highest tier interwebs and you got a pretty new, pretty fast desktop and, you know, plays with you. The sun just hitting that. That's a nice shot. The ship's flanking there. It's just very interesting. Okay, we get a walrus. Finally, we see a walrus, and what do? They delete it. Great, thanks, fellas. Walrus deleted in Franklin Pierce Bay. August 10th, 1875. Why? Well, we had to take its picture. Yeah. Well, either that or they're running out of provisions. This looks very interesting. Sorry, it gets a little too pickolated if I zoom in too much. Mm-hmm. Just love just gonna teeter on the precipice of drowning. What is going on here? No wonder this guy took so many photos of this thing. That is incredible. I was not expecting the Arctic to be this rocky and the mountains, for lack of a better term, to be this huge and angular. They're sharp or craggy, if you see what I'm getting at. You know, winters and glaciation and ice over the quote millions and millions. You just rub all that smooth after a while. Yeah. Vincent in the chat says glaciers done roughed everything up, don't you know? Again, this is looking for the North Pole. That's what they were doing. Just sent to find the North Pole. There's the thumbnail. Not sure what they're doing here. Taking measurements, fishing, getting water. I don't know. Again, this is in the background is just very interesting to a fella. We're more than halfway. Come on, quit playing around. I'm sorry about this, people. It's frustrating and aggravating. It certainly is a sight. Reminds me of a mountain as you approach Banff National Park here in Alberta. It's called Mount Yamnuska. Mount Yamnuska. Summertime, and it says that it's in heavy ice. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty thick. It looks pretty heavy. Summertime. Yeah. You're not wrong. Baja says about those guys smelled absolutely horrendous. all covered in walrus blood and seagull shit, and they got the scurvy. They were trapped out there in the ice. Sorry, I don't mean to. I'm not laughing at any men that may have suffered through that ordeal, but just the whole. It's just funny. It is what it is. Splendid Newfoundland. Hello, how's it going? Welcome, eh? Welcome. We're north of Newfoundland and Labrador here. Cape McClintock. Oh man, this one's in trouble. This one is in some trouble. All right. That does not look like a good time. No, these guys are not having fun at all. And you know, these guys brought these photos back. And still more dudes went out there. I can do it. I can do it. Supposedly they just kept trying and trying. That's why I'm not so sure about the conditions up there. I don't know if it is what they must be doing surveying or something. I don't know. Winter quarters of the Discovery. September. See, winter's hit already on the 6th of September up here. They're like, yeah, it's time to pack her in for the season, bud. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, we gotta ride this out now. We're in for 7 months of frozen hell. You know, until next May, basically. Channel 53 says that landscape looks gnarly. Yeah. Yeah. Even still, though, in the windswept winter, it's very intriguing. Come on, this is getting ridiculous, man. We're almost, we've only got about 20 or so. Go, 2 dozen to go here. Damn you. What? Is it something I said? Is it something I said? Oh, this is one of those paintings, I think, or something. Maybe not. Monument of Sir John Franklin, 1906. Oh, okay. Yes, it did say the collection included some monuments as well as an old boat, I guess. Cape Lord Strathcona, Admiralty Inlet. No name for this. Strathcona Inlet. Okay. There's Polar Bear. Of course, they deleted it again. What'd you do that for? Well, we got to get its picture. It looks like the remainder of these are going to be 1906. So slightly mislabeled there. But we might as well. We got about 10 or so to go here. Oh, no, it doesn't. Literally, it doesn't, eh? These would be Inuit / Eskimo, they would tell us, I guess. Completely perplexed, absolutely dumbfounded. No, like, what? Yeah, just stand there. We're going to take your picture with this here camera. They're like, what is a picture and what is a camera? And why are you taking whatever it is? you know, take your picture. Great. No wonder supposedly people thought they were taking their souls or whatever. Okay, now I want you to go stand up there. At least now he's got a bit of a grin. He's having a good time. This guy's still totally baffled. He's just not having fun. Like, can I go back to fishing, please? You caught us in the middle of fishing or hunting or whatever they were doing. Notice they had to come aboard to get their photos taken as well, rather than these guys getting off the ship and posing with them. Hey, may we pose with you? No, it's just come aboard now so we can take your photos. All right, now scram, skedaddle. Sailing away. Ponce Inlet, AWAC Station. Drinking that rum and having a pipe. Yeah, maybe. Right? See, now, at least now they came ashore and said, all right, let's come and meet the family. This just says Indigenous AWAC Station, Pond Inlet, 06. Look at this. Beautiful. Where are they getting cooking pot? I guess they must Hudson's Bay Company, I'm guessing. We're trading with ships like this, maybe. Got any ivory? Take some walrus tusks and we'll trade them for these pots and bowls, maybe. Either that or Hudson's Bay Trading Company. Again, we see this bead work or shell work. Again, where are these big bloody blocks coming from, man? Like, even if you're living in a, some kind of animal hide hut, for lack of a better term, tent, they're holding down this canopy with these bloody big blocks. Where the hell did they get this wooden plank from, too, by the way? That's what it looks like, anyway. Strange to me. What is the deal here? It was just a couple of trees like that, happenstance. Is that a ship? That's the ship? That is the ship. Look how much I just figured it. I thought this was some cuts in the rock behind, but it's the masts of the ship. It's almost completely encased in ice. You fool. You damned fool. Holy moly. Ice is formed in Port Albert. I'm just reading some French because I'm very cosmopolitan, eh? Planting the flag on Baffin Island. Why is the skipper or whoever, the captain or whoever this fella is here, just kind of looking, come on, boys, we got to get back out to sea. The sea's calling me, boys. Like everybody else is looking in the camera. Everybody. Even this confused son of a gun. But nope, not old skipper here. Hold on. Eskimo. They're taking their first salute. Oh, at their first meeting. Salut means hello or greetings. So Eskimo taking their first greeting. He's got a rifle. Okay, it's kind of a fine how do you do, isn't it? Greetings, as I point this rifle. My French isn't the best, so I could be mistranslating that. Okay, so-and-so Hayes and Morin. First and second. Seconds. Okay, first and second. And basically seconds after they've departed on the expedition. So Hayes and Morin, first and second. Seconds after they've departed on their expedition. Oh, this is hilarious. Employees. All right, excuse me. So the indigenous are employing their departure to go hunting seals. And yes, the French word for seal is phoque. That's pronounced phoque. Saturn phoque. Asked me if that was fun in high school French class. So yeah, these indigenous peoples are embarking on their seal hunt. See, I knew there were seals up there. Okay, so the indigenous and their dogs. Are embarking from here. Okay. That thing is still stuck. Good point. Yeah, Brian Metz says you learn quickly what keeps you warm. Brian says I worked in minus 40. Wyoming. Isn't too bad as long as the wind and blow. Yeah, the wind will get you. It's the worst part. Modoc says I went to Point Barrow on a wrestling trip. Really? Vincent said, what group of ancient people said, let's live here? Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder, right? It just makes you, at least it makes me wonder. What's going on now? Oh, it's the last photo. Well, there you go. The last photo. Yeah, 76 of 76. So there you have it, the Arctic photographs. Again, this album contains gelatin silver prints documenting the historical British expedition of 1875-1876 commanded by. You hit show more and it's not going to give you more. But we looked into it. Captain Sir something or other hoity-toity guy. Very, very interesting, I think, and very telling photographs and surprising because again, when I think of the Arctic, when I think of Greenland, Baffin Island, I don't think of it being so mountainous and so jagged and with all of those massive Massive blocks everywhere. Howdy, bud. Water the tree in the box. Yeah, so those huge blocks are just puzzling. According to Frankie's thermometer, it's minus 100 in his house. No. Take off. Take off, eh? It's like 22, something like that. It was fun, French Fox. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about cold weather. I mean, really cold is terrible, really hot is terrible, right? The cold you can sort of layer up, bundle up, but the thing is, it's like it's alive, and it tries to creep into any little crevice or spot you've missed. That the cold just gets at you somehow. You know, there's a little tiny space between the back of your neck, between your scarf and your winter coat, your parka, your down-filled parka. The chill gets down in there, son. I tell you what, you ain't not going to be doing pixie kicks and whistling down the street. You know what I'm saying? But if it's too hot, I mean, there's only so many layers you can take off. You know, you can only remove so much clothing before guys with badges start asking you what's going on, you know? Yeah, it's me, Locker, over here. What are we gonna do with all these fur coats? We'll keep them in the freezer with the meat. Yeah, I would say I found it very interesting, and yes, it posed very, very many questions. Very interesting, though. I do enjoy the fall. I mean, I'm kind of a summer guy, but when it gets to be plus 30, plus 35 Celsius, you know, that's getting into the 90s, creeping up on 100 Fahrenheit, and it can get above that even around here. That's too much, man. Like, hey, slow down. Curtis Gibbs says, hey, Frankie, watching from Red Deer, Alberta, right here in Purdy, Alberta. Well, howdy, neighbor. Good to see you, bud. Hello. Thanks for shooting in. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'm also not a fan of I'm not a winter person. You know, I like spring, summer, fall, like most reasonable people. I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. I'm goofing. I'm goofing on. There's a lot of people that enjoy winter. They enjoy the winter sports, skiing, snowboarding, and whatnot. A lot of that here in Alberta, Rocky Mountains. British Columbia, just on the other side, a lot of skiing there too. All over Canada land in the winter, there's plenty of skiing. Sometimes you live in a little town or village, and they got their own little ski hill. Might even have a ski lift or T-bars or something to get you up to the top. But the fall is great because the morning is kind of crisp and chilly a little bit, right? You don't wake up and it's already blisteringly hot, and you're like, come on, man. Come on, man. It's already this hot. And it cools off at night. Right? Like tonight is supposed to go down to, I think, I don't even know. Let's see what the thing tells me on the thing. I'll go down to 9 degrees Celsius overnight tonight. Just around 40-ish Fahrenheit. So, you know, you can get a proper night's sleep without tossing and turning. Sweating like something that sweats. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting ready to wind this thing down very shortly. Before I go, again, a couple reminders. Some housekeeping. Anyway, that was completely unreasonable.
That's crazy!
Reset 1700, my documentary film regarding my theory as to what happened in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, the Pacific Southwest of Canada land, that caused the last reset. The live premiere was last Sunday. Thank you to everyone who joined me for the live. Don't worry and don't feel bad if you missed it there, eh? It's going to go back up. I'll put it up very, very shortly, probably in a week or two at the most. And then it will stay up, and it'll be in its entirety. I'll put up as a premiere as well, so we get a little chat in the box on the side. But it will be the original version that was aired for the live. And then I'm going to upload it to Rumble in its entirety. But BitChute, it's going to have to go up in installments, parts 1 through 7, I think, because you can't, BitChute doesn't like it when you try to upload too large of a file. It gives you the burp, boop, burp, burp. I cannot perform this function. Really? But what about AI? You freaking piece of... But be that as it may. Cousin Vinny, being completely honest, I just remembered to hit the like button. Wow, thank you. Thanks, Cousin Vinny. I appreciate it. Yes. Come on now. Please. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things, all the Rumble things, the thumbs and all the things. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, it helps. It helps, right? I'm just a little guy, so every little bit helps. Yes, thank you once again for everybody who made it for the live. Thanks for all your support. I really, really appreciate that. It was a labor of love. There were some delays in getting it out there, but we got her done, got it out technically summertime 2025 as promised. So already working on a part 2 or a sequel or an addendum to it. So keep your ocular sphericals locked onto the channel here for that. If you do all the things, you'll get the notifications that don't work. So that's convenient and handy. And again, congratulatories to Zig and Zag, as well as Matthew Carmichael, for winning the free New West Reset prize pack. A couple of New West Reset t-shirts. And pair of New West Reset socks. However, with a glitch with the Canada Post strike, they're going to go out UPS as opposed to through the post. So the snail mail. So apologies for the delay and the confusion, but you're getting them. Don't worry. You won't have to pay a cent. It's on me. Congratulations once again. So yeah, I'll keep you updated too behind the scenes. I'll be emailing you with updates and whatnot as to when you'll get those in your fingers. Get them in your fingers. Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up, and then Halloween. I'm going to have a Halloween special live stream, as I always do every year. Not celebrating any spooky evil stuff, just, having fun with it. Right? That's what we like to do around here. We like to take these large subjects and knock them down a few pegs, try to have a little fun with it, so it doesn't seem like such a daunting task to kind of do a bit of a deeper dive or poke some holes in the official story.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Brian says, I'm getting into gardening next spring. Tried it last year, but the deer won. Can't hunt here, though, unfortunately. I'm not affiliated with the tribe. Oh, only the indigenous? What, do you live on a reservation? Or on reserve land? Or... Yeah, that's about the only good thing I like about winter. Like when it gets, winter. Hunting season. At least the late hunt, it's in December. The draw for the late hunt for deer, elk. I think moose doesn't do a late draw. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, well, they'd be pretty strict there. It's like, hey, come on now, buddy. It's you want to hunt deer, you gotta do it the regular way there, bud. I guess. I don't know. There's so many hoops to jump through up here in Canada land for big game hunting. Heck, even for fishing. Even just for throwing a lure, casting a lure, and doing some angling. You got to have a this number, which allows you to get a that thing license, which then allows you to purchase a fishing license. But then you can only catch this kind of fish, and this kind of fish, or this kind of fish. But you're not allowed to catch and release here. Well, wait a second. What happens if I catch the wrong fish? Because you got to be a marine biologist to identify some of these fish one from the other. They're freaking trout, for crying out loud. Well, that's a brown trout. You can't. They can only be speckled trout. But the brown one has speckles on it. And the speckled trout's kind of brown. Sorry, I'm going to have to give you a $500 fine for poaching. Great. So that's how they get you. Ah, you're part Creek, Native American. Ah, now I understand. Kootenai Salish. Ah, speaking of the West, yes, there you go. That's Salish country for sure. All right, so there you go. I think that's going to do it here for the show. As a reminder, Wednesday, vintage footage. You got a sneak peek of that. Every Wednesday, you get some vintage footage. Friday, boots on the ground. Sunday, next week, we'll see you back here for episode 139. So that's going to seal the deal here for Frankie, New West Reset, and New West Reset Live, episode 138. Images of the frozen north, Arctic photos, 1875. A couple of snuck in there from the early 1900s, but that's fine. We won't get mad. It's fine. Before I go, I'm just going to share a couple of quick little things here, and then we'll shut her down. Talking about, when it gets cold, if you dress properly, it goes a long way, whether you like the cold or not, right? If you dress in layers and dress properly, it really does help. It goes a long way. We know this, right? People that aren't fans of the cold but have to live adjacent or within the cold. But, sometimes it can be tough getting dressed. Sometimes, especially when you're a kid, mom had to help you. Remember this? Remember mom helping you dress when you were a kid? Ah, the memories, eh? The memories. All right, so that's going to seal the deal here. Frankie, New West Reset. Thank you very much, everyone. Until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Cheers. Bye.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.